Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host.
Miosha.
And today we're doing another Am I the A-hole reaction. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and meet us in the comments to let us know what you think about these scenarios. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please give us a 5-star rating. And, remember we have a YouTube community. So if you want to see our faces, see our reactions, make sure you come over to Girlfriends and Goals podcast on YouTube. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. The first one says, am I the a-hole for telling my best friend she should call off her wedding? And this one has an update. So here's the first part. I, 27 female, have a best friend, Daisy, who is getting married in a month and a half to Max. They've been together for 3 years and are really perfect together. I was super supportive of their wedding until recently. About a week ago, Daisy had her bachelorette party. She didn't want to do anything crazy, so just the closest girlfriends went to a small vineyard for a nice dinner. And it was during this dinner that she dropped the bomb. She made a big show of pouring everyone a glass of the house red except for herself and took a huge sip of her water. She was smiling at all of us as if we were already in on the joke, but we weren't. But then slowly realization dawned and she confirmed she was pregnant, 2 months pregnant to be exact. We were all happy for her, congratulating her, hugging, etc. Then someone made one of those jokes about them having to get married just because she's pregnant, and she got all mischievous again. She then revealed that Max doesn't know that it was going to be a surprise. The reaction to this was mostly positive, which dumbfounded me. Max and Daisy have always wanted kids. I even know they explicitly talked about it before deciding to get married, which is definitely the right thing to do. However, just because 2 people want kids doesn't mean one person can just make the decision of when is the right time. And that's exactly what I feel like Daisy is doing. I don't think you should marry someone when you're keeping something that's a massive secret. I have no idea how she managed to keep it secret for 2 months anyways, but according to her, they've been so busy with the wedding planning and it was easy to hide, and anything weird happening like her vomiting, she just attributed to stress. I talked to Daisy the day after the party. I told her what I thought and that I was just trying to look out for her, and that if it was the other way around, I would want her to do the same for me. She got really quiet while I was talking and afterwards told me that she didn't appreciate me butting in on their marriage and that it was her decision. I pointed out that it shouldn't just be her decision, that she was majorly affecting Max's life too without even including him in the conversation, and that she shouldn't go through with the wedding if she was insistent on keeping him in the dark. This pissed her off and she told me to leave and not contact her. Since then, I've gotten some messages from our friends who were at the party, so I guess she told them. A couple of them agree with me, but most of them are on her side and are calling me an a-hole for ruining what's supposed to be the most exciting time in Daisy's life and what gives me the right, etc. I don't regret speaking up, but I'm worried that I might have ruined our friendship and I'm not even sure I'll still be allowed to come to the wedding. Did I maybe overstep?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like,
And I guess my question is, why was your knee jerk reaction to call the whole wedding off? Why not just say, hey, I think you should tell your fiance?
as if it's gonna change them getting married. Like I don't get it. Is it me or is she making a big fuss about nothing?
But so she knows enough about them to know that they've both always wanted kids. But I
hmm
wonder if there was something there that she observed that would give her an inkling that it would be a problem to hold this from him. I will say though, I find it odd that she would tell you all but not him.
Mm,
I do find that to be strange.
okay.
But I don't think I would jump to, hey, you should call off your wedding. I don't know. That's a big reaction. Why not
It,
just say tell him?
it's a big reaction for someone who's, I think, a little bit too old to be blowing something out of proportion the way that she is. Because they're all 27. I do think, obviously, I think she should tell him because he's about to be a parent and there are parts of the experience so far that maybe he's missed because she's refused to tell him. I want to know why she's refusing to tell him. I have a lot of questions about this one.
Because it seems, from what I gather, she's concerned that he may feel away her holding this. And I think her point of view, girl, I'm trying to see your point of view, is that once he finds out a month and a half, so at this point she'll be 3.5 months pregnant, because she said that they're assuming she tell him after the wedding, if we can make that assumption, she's 3.5 months pregnant. At that point, her whole first trimester is done. He may feel betrayed by her not telling him.
But do you feel like under normal circumstances that that betrayal is so big to cancel a wedding?
Because
Like,
you're
okay,
already in progress. It's not like you're using
yeah.
you're 6 weeks out from the wedding.
It's not like, oh, we're getting married because she's pregnant, and then later on he finds out that she's not really pregnant or something like that. It's nothing crazy. So jumping to calling off the wedding just seems extreme to me.
And I could understand her questioning you being at the wedding, because now she may feel, okay, you're having this big reaction. Do you really want me to be married? Are you happy for me? Is there a hater in the camp? I could see
Yeah.
her questioning your motives as to why you would jump to that.
What's the moral dilemma here? I guess
It's
for
such a big,
that's what I'm trying to figure
she's,
out.
she's holding a big secret before, I guess, the nuptials, before the wedding. I guess in her mind you should go in with a clean slate and knowing everything. But I will say though, if he's been partaking, clearly she's pregnant, there's dual responsibility. And then she said something odd to me, my opinion, in
Hmm.
that I don't think it should just be one person's choice, I guess, to move forward with this. So are you suggesting that he should have the choice to ask her to terminate, and by waiting he wouldn't have that choice?
So this one does have an update. I haven't read it, and so I think hopefully it'll answer some of the questions that we have. But if not, I'm like, girl, you just wasted people's time on this Reddit thread by serving us up some nonsense, like talking about calling off a whole wedding because someone's expecting. All right, so the update. She says, "Hi everyone. Everything exploded after I made this post, so I thought I would update. A few days after Daisy cut me off, she showed up on my doorstep, bag in hand, completely distraught. She came inside and some hugging and crying, calmed down enough to tell me that Max had found out. They'd gotten in a massive argument, and Max went to his brother's for the night. Apparently, one of Daisy's friends who was at the party told her boyfriend, one of Max's groomsmen, who then called Max and told him everything. How Daisy had hidden the pregnancy, she told everyone else at the party, and how she was going to surprise him after the wedding. Max was pissed at her, saying they weren't in a financially good place since they just spent a lot of money on the wedding and the honeymoon. He couldn't believe she didn't tell him, but she told everyone else. He felt betrayed and said he didn't even recognize her. Daisy was a mess, even saying she should have listened to me. She stayed at my place over the next few days while Max got his space. During that time, she had about a dozen missed calls and texts from friends and family. Guess word spread fast. She mostly slept and tried to distract herself. After about a week, Max called her saying he wanted to talk, so she went back to their place. Long story short, Max called off the wedding for now. Apparently, he said he wasn't comfortable enough in the relationship to get married as planned because it was a massive breach of trust that he'd rather postpone and work things out. As of now, whether they'll get married in the future is up in the air. They're still together and are having conversations about the pregnancy and having children. Daisy hasn't told me much more than that. She sort of dropped off the face of the earth for most of us since this happened. I think she's focusing on Max. Our friendship is fine, but definitely not the same. I still wish Daisy the best after everything, and for those of you interested, I still stand by my decision. After reading everyone's comments and thinking a lot about what happened, I don't regret communicating to her how I felt. Maybe telling her to call it off was a bit much. I can admit that, but I'm still glad I said something. Also, to everyone saying, I want to sleep with Max, I'm a lesbian, but that was a cute hypothesis. Oh my God.
Oh, so it was somebody else who spilled the tea. So it sounds like she, I don't know, why would another girl in the group go tell her boyfriend? See,
Who's
this is
his
why.
friend? This whole, okay, this is one of my least favorite scenarios. What is going on? I feel like everybody is either dramatic or not the brightest. One, Daisy, the first thing you would think to do is to tell him. And if you're trying to keep it a secret from him, why would you tell a dozen other people who are connected to people who are close to him? I,
And it sounds like he's in his feelings about the fact that he had to find out he's going to be a dad from a
from
different
someone
person.
else.
It makes it maybe bigger than what it actually is because now he's wondering what else are you hiding? And I could admit, I mean, maybe 2 to 3 months out, everything is solidified, but maybe from his perspective, the way the things that still need to be buttoned up, maybe he would do it in a different way to save money, knowing, hey, a baby's coming soon. I don't know.
If she's 2 months along, when do we think she found out? You know, like,
I mean, some women, 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks. Some women, they can go up to 8 weeks and not know, but it sounds as if she's known, we'll say at least 5 or 6 weeks. So,
hmm.
or since she's been 5 or 6 weeks. But regardless, I don't know why you would tell everyone else but him. And this,
Why? Just people need to understand that keeping things to yourself it is an option.
maybe
Uh,
maybe going to a winery, a vineyard situation, she wouldn't be able to play off. Maybe she drinks usually, and that would have given it away anyways, which is fine. I don't have an issue with her telling the girls. I have an issue with her not telling him.
and then telling the girls first.
Yeah, like you should have. I get you maybe can't play off the fact that you're not drinking at your bachelorette, you're not drinking at the wedding. It would be pretty obvious if that's your usual habit. And anytime you're like, no, I'm just sick, or any excuse you give, people never believe it. They would have ran with it anyways. But maybe that's what you should have let them do instead of.
I still want to know why she didn't tell Max. So was it really just a surprise? You know, maybe she did think, oh, this will be a cute way of presenting that information to him. So let's say it was completely innocent and she really did just want it to be a surprise to him and figured, okay, after the wedding, that would be the perfect time to do it. We have gotten past this event, we're on our honeymoon, and I can do this big reveal to him. Like, what if it was that innocent? Then it seems like everybody's reaction is just a bit much. I understand why Max would still be upset. Like, girl, that's not how you handle things. Or if that is what you want to do, then again, don't tell all the girls, like tell me first. I could still see him being upset to some degree, but I just really, what was the reason for her withholding it? Did she know that he would freak out because they're just not financially in a position to have
Mhm.
children and having children is really expensive? Yeah, what was the reason?
Or, and I know birth control isn't 100%, obviously no form,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. The way that she was hiding it up until a certain point is like, why? Was he under certain was he operating off of misinformation? And his response of him calling off the whole wedding gives me that he was operating off of different information than maybe what they agreed to. Because I don't understand you calling off a whole wedding 6 weeks beforehand, but the baby's still going to come. Why not just move forward and still get married? That scene, everybody is having big reaction.
Right. It's like and I'm just there are some things that we have to be missing here. You know what? Daisy needs to come and share her side of the story because this is so incomplete for me. Um
It
calling
to
off the
hide a
wedding.
pregnancy for call it 3.5 months. Say she was gonna tell him the day after the wedding, 3.5 months. You just kind of took the whole first trimester away from him. Why?
And
Daisy, you got some answering to do.
I can't imagine it's been like a comfortable trimester so far. So it's like, wouldn't it have been easier to just,
Yeah, because she said, "Oh, any vomiting, I've just been attributing it to stress." Okay.
I've never stress vomited, but maybe there are people out there who do.
Yeah, but y'all let us know what y'all think. Everybody had big reactions. From the first post, I think you should have minded your business. Thankfully, you didn't spill the tea to him directly. This
Yeah.
other friend who told her boyfriend, see, the boyfriend, he
Okay. I don't think the first post, I don't think she should have just sat there and, just minded her business. I think she should have said something. It's just the
maybe
reaction
not
she
call off the
had was
wedding.
the reaction she had was too big. I think you definitely need to pull her aside and say, "Listen, I know you want to make this a surprise, or I know he's been saying he's not financially ready, but I don't think this is the best way of handling things. Like, I think you should tell him, especially now that you've told us, because secrets have a way of getting out. So it's probably best for you to tell him before the wedding, given that all these girls already know and you're already going through sickness or whatever." So I don't think it was a situation where she should have just, you know, kept it to herself. She definitely needed
Hmm.
to say something, but she was
Hmm.
extremely dramatic with her reaction. And that's what I didn't love.
Yeah, I could get with that. I could go either way. I think she could have sat it out or said just, "Hey, tell him," but definitely not call off your wedding.
Yeah.
He's already pregnant.
Maybe she and Max are cousins or something because they're both their their knee jerk reaction was calling off the wedding. So maybe she was onto something. Maybe she just really knows him very well and was trying to get her friend to call it off before he does.
Yeah, and given their ages, it's not surprising that they maybe would want to wait a little bit, have some time to be married, and plan a little bit better. So, yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think. All right, let's get into the next one. This one says, "Am I the a hole for kicking my parents out of my wedding?" So, for context, my partner and I have been planning our wedding for about 15 months now. During that time was the wedding dress shopping, both female same sex marriage. I invited my mother along to both of my fittings, and my partner, who saw my mother in such high regard, also had her come along to hers as well. We clearly stipulated that we don't want to see each other in the wedding dresses we choose until the wedding. We don't mind knowing what dress, but actually seeing each other in them, and we would like to have separate dresses from each other. I thought that was a simple request. The bridal place knew of our request as well. Through the dress fittings, I had settled on a dress I loved and was encouraged by my mother and chose it as my primary option. At the same time, she also encouraged my partner to the same dress, knowing our requests. The bridal place quietly said to my mother that we were looking at the same dress and to give us a heads up. They did as we asked them, and she brushed them off and told them it's fine. Now the gaslighting began. When we found out we ordered the same dress, we asked for a family meeting to sit down to discuss what happened, air our grievances, etc., and to put it under the bridge, so to speak, and move forward. We reiterated we asked for this not to happen and was told three different stories that conflicted with each other. Told, "Nope, that's not what happened. I don't remember that, so it didn't happen." We had our bridal parties with us, so yes, we can confirm which version of events happened. We were met with severe verbal abuse and rather sickening derogatory remarks, which I can't repeat here. Yep, that bad. After all that, I decided to cut ties with them, told them to leave our lives as we started our new lives together and didn't need this negativity anymore. My mother was always like this growing up. Told them not to attend the wedding and have told the venue to refuse entry to them if they decide to gate crash. All of this because we had a simple request which was ignored and just asking, "Hey, can we have a sit down and talk about what happened?" Honestly, I feel drained and terrible, but like I made a positive decision. So am I the a hole?
I don't think she is. I think the mom is definitely I think the mom could have handled it better. Um, but to be fair, was their request denied? So they were okay with knowing which dress the other person picked and just didn't want to see each other in the same dress.
They didn't want to pick the same dress. So what happened was
Oh, okay.
they went
I'm
dress
sorry.
shop. Yeah, they went dress shopping separately. Her mom, the poster, went shopping with both of them, and they
Hmm.
said, "Hey, we don't mind knowing the dress that each other's has. Just make sure we don't end up in the same dress, assuming they may like the same style." So I guess
Okay.
whenever the mom went with the other wife to be, she okayed the dress knowing it was the same dress. And the bridal staff said, "Hey, she shouldn't be picking this dress because
Got you.
it's already been chosen." And they didn't
Right.
find out until both of the dresses were ordered.
So the bridal staff, I guess the bridal staff couldn't say, "Hey, this is the dress your wife ordered,"
They
because they
said something
didn't.
to the mom.
Sorry.
They said something to the mom.
Right, but they could have said something, not trying to put blame on
Hmm.
them, but they could have said something to the other bride because again, they were okay with knowing what dress the other person picked, as
Hmm.
long as they didn't end up in the same dress. So I don't understand why
Why is
the
the onus
bridal.
falling all on the mom?
No, I think she definitely deserves a lot of blame, and I don't blame them for saying, "Hey, I think her not coming to the wedding might be a little bit of a stress, but I don't blame them for being upset with her and taking whatever measures they want to take to distance themselves from her. So I don't think this person is the a-hole at all. I just think there are a few things that were missed if they were okay with knowing what dress the other person had. Like it seems to me like a simple, oh, this is one of the top ones of your wife to be, so maybe we can stay away from this one, or even like taking it away, something like when you guys are in there zipping her up into the dress, you still didn't think to say anything. Like I just, and again, I'm not putting all the blame on them. I think the mother was absolutely shady, and I don't know what her intentions were with them ending up in the same dress. I don't know if she thought it would be cute, like how people dress up their twins when they're babies or what. But I think she was absolutely shady. I'm just wondering how they both left their appointments and purchased the same dress when
Hmm.
the bridal team also knew that that was exactly what they did not want.
I think the bridal staff was leaning on communicating with the mom because they said the mom replied, "Oh, yeah, that's fine that she's in the same dress." I don't know. I feel like a lot of information is missing from this. We
Mhm.
get a glimpse towards the end where she says, like, "Oh, my mother has always been like this, even growing up." So I don't know. There's something there that's causing her to want to sabotage something about this day. And I think we just need a bit more backstory to try to understand because I don't think you're the a hole for feeling the way that you did, for even having the conversation.
No.
Um, I think you're within your right to decide if you want her to be there or not because you have more backstory than we do. As far as you cutting ties altogether, I need a bit more information to.
Or do you? It could just be, listen, I've had enough and snip,
And
snip.
if this was the straw that broke the camel's back, I think that
Mhm.
that's perfectly fine. I don't know. I just wonder, has his mom always been in her feelings about this union or partnership or whatever they have going on? And for whatever reason, she's using this as a time to strike back. Because, like sometimes people, you may think that they've moved past stuff, but they
Mhm.
haven't. And they will, if you've put up boundaries before, they will quietly get closer to you because you'll let your guard down. And I'm not saying that the mom is trying to do this, it's just, it's very bizarre. So I
Mhm.
need to know why you felt comfortable enough to bring her along with the wedding dress shopping for you and your wife. How did this end up as the result?
Yeah, I don't know. With each of these scenarios, I'm just like, what is going on? Like they just all everything just seems preventable. And I'm like,
Right. And as far as I'm glad you bring up preventable. Like, I know nowadays people are really big on putting their boundaries down. I do think it is a big deal to cut ties with a parent. And so I'm like, my first thought is, okay, do y'all get along otherwise? Could this be a thing where you just compartmentalize the relationship and you still have the relationship with her, but maybe it's not her coming around your new family a lot? I don't know. I'm just like, have all resources been exhausted? Like,
Right. And
yeah,
if
like
she's been like that your whole life, why bring her?
is this your fault for bringing her along?
No, it's not. It's not her fault.
You know your mama, girl.
It's not her fault. I just feel like so many things were missed given the parameters that she
Hmm.
had listed. So it's
Everybody knew and everybody dropped the ball.
yeah.
Yeah, y'all let us know.
Or could they have said, "Hey, I'm going first. Don't even show her these three because they're my top three, or don't even show her this
Take her
one because
off the
it's my top
rack.
one."
Yeah.
And like just
But I think she entrusted the mom, like, oh, she's been at both fittings. There's no way she'll try to sabotage to this level.
or if you're okay with your wife to be knowing what dress you've picked, maybe after you pick the dress, just say, "Hey, I picked a dress from this designer that has that's mermaid and has, I don't know, chiffon or something." Like describe it to her so that she stays away from those. Like if you were really okay with her knowing what dress you picked, just tell her what dress you picked so now she doesn't pick it.
Or did y'all just order on the same day? Y'all didn't notice
I don't
the
know.
same exact price?
But I do feel bad for her that they're gonna show up to their wedding day looking like Mary Kate and Ashley. And I think do what you feel you need to do. We don't know the relationship.
Yeah.
So it does seem a little bit much for us, but hey, you know best.
Yeah.
Trust your intuition.
Yeah.
All right, you guys let us know what y'all thought about these wacky scenarios. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.